Normally, a Monday after a game, we do overreactions. Well, there's one overreaction today, and it's not even an overreaction. It is time for the Dallas Cowboys to fire Matt Eberflus. I actually don't care that much if it's today, tomorrow, or at the end of the season. He cannot be back as your defensive coordinator. We'll break down why on today's show, but this is your chance to speak your mind, let your voice be heard in the comment section of today's show. If you want Matt Eberflus fired as the Cowboys defensive coordinator, show it by spamming FF for Fire Flus in the comment section of today's show. I think it'd be pretty cool if we got like 1,000 FFs in the comments. The Cowboys lost again on Sunday Night Football, in case you turned it off or fell asleep. It was 34-26, essentially ends their season, and it once again proves the Cowboys have to fire Matt Eberflus as their defensive coordinator. He cannot be back next season. There is zero justifiable reason to retain Eberflus, the architect of a bottom two defense in the NFL. This isn't working in Dallas, and we have not remotely seen enough to think it suddenly will start to work at all going forward. He has done a bad job as a defensive coordinator. There's no arguing against that. What do the Cowboys do well? Is it anything? Not consistently over the course of the season. They don't do those things. The defense is still late getting set in Week 15. The year's 2035. They can't handle anything involving motion. They don't fit the run right again. They keep playing bad players who should not be out there. Player issue 2, Flus deserves blame. They blitz early in games, it works, and then they go, oh, well, I hit my quota, I'm not going to call any more blitzes. Again, what does this defense actually do well? What can you hang your hat on and say, I do this well? When it's everything that they do poorly, isn't that a coaching issue? Like, at the root, doesn't that reflect badly on your coaching staff? I understand that 4 defensive coordinators in 4 years is a bad thing. Keeping a bad defensive coordinator for the sake of continuity only is actually worse. That's how you end up with 4 DCs in 5 years and waste another season. The players get blamed too. They are not blameless. They have made plenty of mistakes, but you have to fire Matt Eberflus. He cannot be back with this team next year. All the positive energy you might get by finishing the year 6-2, 5-3, whatever, it's gone if you keep Eberflus as your defensive coordinator. But will the Cowboys do that? It's the Cowboys. You never know. Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Jerry Jones, postgame, actually did speak. I was a bit surprised by that one. Was not committed to retaining Matt Eberflus. He was non-committal in the end, saying, quote, the adjustments that we should be making defensively should be with these next 3 games in mind, with 3 games left in the short time that we've got to play them in. Then that will impact any adjustments you make regarding coaching with the time frame we're dealing with. That's a legit question. Really just like, what is Eberflus to do to keep you there? The translation is this. Let's see how the season ends. Look, if the Cowboys go 3-0 and the defense starts allowing 17 points a game, yeah, I could see Eberflus back in that scenario. Wouldn't agree with it. The opposing schedule was not very good offensively. Then again, neither are the Vikings. I don't anticipate a midseason move. Would be pretty cool to be wrong, but it's not the Joneses' way overall. The door, I think, is open. In a way that, weeks ago, months ago, he's like, I don't want to hire or change a new DC. But that one was much more like, we'll see how things play out. Coming up next, a bunch of mind-numbingly bad stats that indicate how bad it is in Dallas that really prove why you have to fire Matt Eberflus. Today's show is made possible by PrizePicks. It is the holiday season, the best time of the year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, all of it happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. That is PrizePicks. You now have early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. One of the flex play options for you on PrizePicks, Monday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers, more than passing yards. Tua in the cold, less than passing yards. And Devon Achane, more than a half touchdown. It is simple to play. You pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. Get those picks right, and you could cash in. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Let's talk reasons why you have to fire Matt Eberflus. Number one, you got nined in a way that nobody has nined you over the course of the season. That was JJ McCarthy's best game of his career. Not that the bar is very high, that's the issue. McCarthy had a career game against you, which is not a new thing for the Cowboys either. He set career highs in yards, tied it in total touchdowns, yards per attempt, adjusted yards per attempt, and EPA per play at plus 0.52, which, by the way, if you did that every game over the course of the season, you'd win MVP in a landslide. About double what the top quarterbacks average. That's not a good thing. McCarthy was horrific, or was great in this game, and your defense and their inability to stop him was the number one reason why. Number two reason, tying into this, you don't do the things, maybe that work isn't even right, but don't fail as often, because nothing really works for this Dallas Cowboys defense in general. McCarthy against the blitz versus not against the blitz. And again, you want a negative EPA per play, means it's hurting you. Cowboys brought pressure one time in the second half, by the way, or blitzes, I should say. 3 of 6 against the blitz from McCarthy, 41 yards, had a touchdown, threw a pick. 2 pressures on 6 attempts, minus 0.11 EPA per play. McCarthy against no blitz, 12 of 18, 209 a touchdown, plus 0.74 EPA per play, was pressured 4 times in the entire time he dropped back against no blitz. Bobby Belt, great stat here. Matt Eberflus's blitz rate the last 2 weeks. First quarter, 60%. Second to fourth quarter, 13.6%. Why does Matt Eberflus call blitzes like there's a quota he has to fill, and then once he gets there, he doesn't want to do it anymore? The Cowboys brought 3, which is a joke with the way this team is built, as many times as they brought a blitz in the second half of the game against the Minnesota Vikings. Showing pressure doesn't do anything if you don't bring it. Like, you have to have the threat of actually doing it. It's just, every time they show that double A-gap pressure, they drop it every time. They never bring it. We will have a full video for you on Matt Eberflus replacement options later this week. We'll go in-depth on some top defensive coordinator candidates for the Cowboys. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. Number 3, keep playing bad players. And again, this is also a player issue, but, put your guys in a spot to have success. Why is Kenneth Murray playing? Like, it's actually not as his fault as it maybe looks, as I thought it looked in the moment of him jumping out of his gap, but it's indicative of his entire play style. He just bails. He guesses on every play. He has no idea where the ball is actually going. Nobody goes to the right side. Why are you jumping over there, dude? Go to where the ball is. Be a smart player instead of just guessing the entire time. Why have you dialed back the 5-man fronts? Those were kind of good for you early in the year, and now you're just not doing them anymore. Why? It's the illusion of adjustments, essentially. Your entire secondary has regressed this year. Every single player. Not Savona because he's a new player, but everyone has gotten worse. Boy, that is concerning, isn't it? Isn't that a you issue in the end? How many players are better this year than what they were last year with this Dallas Cowboys team? Is there a singular player? Isn't that a coaching issue in the end? So what is your confidence level in the defense right now? We're doing 0 as an option because I think 0 is a very valid option. I guess you can do 10 if you're just high on the Kool-Aid, but 0 to 10 is your scale. Reason number 4, the results are just awful. And that's the single biggest reason why you can't bring him back, right? It's a results-based business. The process also stinks. Great note here from Bobby Belt. Of the 13 teams the Cowboys have played this year, 8 of them have put up one of their 2 highest scoring performances of the season on Dallas. Giants, Bears, Packers, Panthers, Broncos, Cardinals, Lions, Vikings. All you do is let opposing teams have one of their best games of the season against you. It's a pretty common trend right there. The Cowboys are on pace to have their worst defensive effort ever. From both a points per game perspective, they might be able to rally on that front. We will see. But they have never allowed 500 points over the course of the season. With 3 games left, allowing 30 points per game on the money, they are on pace to do that. You can't keep the DC after this year. You can't. That's unacceptable if you choose to do so. The Cowboys would be even more than they normally are, deeply unserious team if they bring back Matt Eberflus. So just don't. Fire him, move on, do a real DC search, as we'll discuss later this week on the Cowboys Report. But Flus cannot return just because he's buddies with the front office.